All right, we are back. We are back. Welcome a friend. So, a lot has happened. I know everybody's kind of like, if you're an Alabama fan, you want Alabama in. If you was a USC fan, you mad USC gave up the booty. Booty meaning treasure, just in case we have any gray area out there. Uh, yeah, and USC would have been slotted, primed, and ready for action. But as it were, they're out. They got that. I'm telling you, man, it's hard to win. So okay, we go jump right in. My name is Coach Malik Hall. This is Catch Up with Coach. So let's get you caught up. The playoffs. We're gonna start with the FCS playoffs, just because played FCS ball, coach FCS ball as Division One major, and as we jump into it, I want you guys to keep in mind, Coach Hall went over last time. Over. I went over. I went over. When you say, Coach, like, how'd you go over? Because every team I picked to win lost, and every team I picked to upset didn't even come close to making any anything sort of an upset. It was like blowout central. All right, so let's jump right in. Um, South Dakota State, Delaware. Delaware went to South Dakota and got waxed, unfortunately. They got beat 42-6. I thought Delaware would cover. They did not even cover. Not that I'm a betting man, but I got a few calls asking me how I feel about Delaware. And I said they would lose, but I didn't think they would cover. The quarterback is dynamic, but man, like at some point, you you either that dynamic where you're player of the year, or you got to make some plays with your arm. And unfortunately, I just felt like somebody was going to have the defensive scheme and game plan for him, or for that matter, the defensive line or linebacker to hunt him down and keep him from making big plays on his feet. Okay, so that one was what it was. All right, here's the one. Holy Cross, New Hampshire. We talked about it on the Big Jab on the bigjab.com. We'll be on there at 1 o'clock with the Maddox brothers. So Holy Cross is a historical program, and they're playing UNH. First time head coach, Coach Santos, Ricky Santos. Um, when you really think about it, I had UNH losing to Fordham. UNH came up out their skin and put up 56 points against Fordham. It was I mean, they played a heck of a game. The DBs were on fire. The running back, Dayline. Unfortunately, he was on fire, but did not bring that same juice or sauce against Holy Cross. Now, I also mentioned Holy Cross was gonna be packed. The stadium sits 25, and it was rocking. And so, shout out Holy Cross. They got it done 35-19 against UNH. How about that? How about that, man? Going to the second round, and they are going to the quarterfinals, and they are going all the way to South Dakota State. And it's too early for me to call it, but I'm telling you, Holy Cross is playing on a different level right now with a different juice, and that quarterback is letting it loose. And so don't sleep on Holy Cross going all the way to the Mountain West and getting it done. How about that? Hey, a team that you didn't think was gonna get in there, they got in there, and now they got in and they getting money. All right, so listen, Montana, Montana, North Dakota State, not South Dakota State, North Dakota State. I know they got 4 schools out there. All right, North Dakota State is school formerly known as Carson Wentz. And so, yeah, they still clocking, and Trey Lance. They still clocking over there. What do you want me to tell you other than They getting it done. They spanked Montana 49-26. Now they got Samford from Alabama. But again, home field advantage. I've never played out there, but I only imagine with the altitude, with the cold, the snow, you better have your boots on and ready to go, basically, because that's the type of game it's gonna be. All right, and then we go down. Let's go down. Let's go down. Let's go downtown. Let's go downtown to look Furman. Furman, that running back, that defense. They got a quarterback out, like a corner that I think will be a draft pick. So watch out for him. And look, the running back was running. This was a great game, UIW versus Furman. Um, Man, like this is why I like the FCS playoffs. Because you go hear about teams and see teams that you have never heard about or never players that you never knew about. Okay. The Tyler Huff kid that I was talking about, bro, this dude, he the quarterback, he thick. He about 6'3". I think he probably at least 215. He had two tutties, but the running back, Roberto, is who I was really thinking of. 15 carries for 59 yards, 1 touchdown. Um, but unfortunately, the UIW crew, these dudes, and the Lindsey Scott kid, I mean, he's a 6'3", 220 kid. He ran the ball for 23 times, 124 yards. Marcus Cooper ran the ball for 22 times, 104 yards. So this was as throwback as you want to get in terms of run game, but don't sleep. He also threw the ball 33 for 49, but he also had 2 picks, but with 5 touchdowns for 394 yards. I mean, look, I reposted this team as my sleeper to win it early in the playoffs because I went back once they got selected. I went back in the vault, checked out a little film on them. This team's something else. Yeah, I don't even know how to explain it because I'm not familiar enough with the squad at all. But yeah, they did their thing. They did their thing. 41-38 over Foreman. Over Furman. Okay. All right. Now, Richmond went all the way out to Sacramento State. Man, I thought Richmond was gonna come up with it. I ain't gonna front. What a game. Everybody showed up. That's just a good game. Dykes went for 109 yards along with Smith for 75 yards and a tutty. The quarterback, I ain't gonna butcher his name. I think it's Udinski. He went 21 for 39 for a pick, but 3 tutties, but wasn't enough to come up with it because Sacramento State, who loves to air it out, went 19 for 39, 3 picks. The defense was balling, but it came down to Sacramento shutting Richmond out in the fourth quarter with a 14-0 run on Richmond. And so, man, I've played those West Coast teams. They love to throw the ball. You don't see them enough in season to kind of have any similar opponent or to prep for it. Because if you get to the playoffs, those are extra innings. There's no way you go say, hey, this is what we doing when we go out west. This is what we doing if we go down south. Your team just has to be well-rounded and ready to go. I thought Richmond was a very, very well-rounded team, but unfortunately they came up short against Sacramento State, 38-31. Now, UIW and Sacramento State, that's going to be a showdown. Now let's move over back to the CA. William and Mary, Bill and Harry, they got it deep. They got it done. To be fair, I only expected them to. They were playing Gardner Webb, but don't sleep Gardner Webb, who has reshuffled and kind of re-imaged their program to even be competitive. They used to be the doormat of the league and being in the playoffs and getting out of the first round against Eastern Kentucky 52-41, which was a shootout. But to go to William and Mary, I'm sure you probably saw all of the social media, ESPN feeds. Cam Newton made an appearance. And so Cam Newton, I guess, lives in Virginia actually, I know what it is. Cam Newton's brother plays for William and Mary. And that right there alone is a 53-14 shellacking Gardner-Webb. Now, this will be interesting because I've been to Montana. Montana is a dish, is a bowl, and they sit on you and they'll throw snowballs at you. So if you're not with it, don't go out there pretending because William and Mary's in Virginia, it will be cold. Now, they ain't in the real hot part of Virginia now. So it ain't like this should be a weather problem, but it could be. It could be a weather problem, but shout out Coach London over there. Now, here's the interesting thing, and because that was the last team. They got to go to Montana. William and Mary goes to Montana, and I want to say this. Coach London, I played with his son, London TV. Shout out London TV. But here's the point. Here's what I'm going with. Look, everyone saw Coach Prime move to Colorado from an HBCU. For whatever it's worth, Coach London has been the head coach at a Power 5 school already. Coach London has been everywhere you want him to be. HBCU, he was at Richmond, HBCU, go UVA. He went from Richmond, UVA, HBCU, William and Mary. Now the real question is, if he wins the Natty, somebody go pull him. Period. And the controversy that goes with Dion being at a HBCU going to a PWI came with so much back and forth. It won't be that kind of issue with Coach London. Why? I don't know. Partly because it's Dion. Coach London. Like, I don't know. Dion was supposed to hit it. Look, it's so much like emotions that goes behind an HBCU having some status which they've never had before. Coach London gave Howard that same status by going out west and beating UNLV. Spanked them. That got him the William and Mary job. The job that he is doing at William and Mary should and probably will get him a Power 5 job because he has Power 5 pedigree. If you wanted Dion to wait out for FSU, forget about it. I don't think nostalgia. It is what it is. Go back if you can, but sometimes it's not worth going back. Cause like it's just not worth going back sometimes. That's all I can say. Because if Dion holds out for FSU is like, what is that? They got so much repairing over there to do. So shout out to Coach Prime. He is in the prime time now, baby. Now I look and okay, for his number one recruit he signed. Man, listen, this kid should probably graduate next year if they did it right. Because there's no reason, like, here's my feeling on the whole deal in terms of coaches leaving, getting players, and that players committed to the coach. Maybe not necessarily the program, though we would like to think you're committing to the program, not the coach. The coach is a representative of the program. So if you have a bad coach, no one's coming to the program. If you have a good coach, he may be able to steal some people into the program. Now, yes, it is a lot of gray area in that, but this is athletics. Yeah, that's it. It's athletics. This is a part of it. Coaches get fired, coaches get hired. I had a coach tell me, hey, you're only two things as a coach. You're a coach who's getting fired or you're a coach who's getting hired. And in this particular moment, Coach Prime got hired. Now, will he get fired at Colorado? We find out, because 2 bad years, he's out. That's just the nature of the Power 5 schools. I had one coach tell me that's where coach's career go to die. Now, that may be true. That may be true. Not a whole lot of coaches. And if coaches get it done in Colorado, they out in 2 years. So you really, like, because the last coach you got it in, and Coach Tucker, technically, I don't know if you would say he got it done at Colorado. He did enough for Michigan State to want to come get him. So look, yeah, 2 years, 3 years, that's the kind of rotation you're looking at. Whether you like it or not, that is what it is. So Coach Prime got 2-3 years at Colorado, or he flipping it. If he flips it, he flipping it to probably SEC, maybe ACC. If he doesn't flip it, he still drops down to a mid-major school because he got that kind of juice. And there's no program in the country who don't want that kind of juice that Prime got. I'm just telling you. If you've been watching his feeds, he go increase your applications. He go increase your mail enrollment. He go increase everything that you want him to increase with the profile of your school. Now, that's why he getting paid. Because when they fire him or when he gotta go, he did his job. He won enough games, and bang, bada boom, bada bang. That's the deal. Now, you could be mad that he left Jackson State, or you could be like, hey, man, he was supposed to leave. Like, you go, look, at best, let me give you some numbers behind this. Jackson State top end is paying him $500K. Colorado is paying him $5 million. Like, so you tell me, like, what I like to tell. I've left a lot of schools and left a lot of players, and it was never a good situation when I left. Never, because like I love those kids, and if it's reciprocated, whenever you break a relationship, unexpectedly, nonetheless, it hurts. And so I got guys who still really might not be okay with talking to me because I left at a pivotal moment in their career. And I will admit that it hurt for me to leave. It hurt for me to have the conversation. It actually hurt for me to tell them. And if you want me to be honest, in every situation, I've cried in every situation that I've had to tell the kids or players and families that I coached that I'm leaving, recruited, all of that. Because you're not just, this is not as much as it feels like a business transaction, or though athletics has become very transactional, the way I was operating as a coach and the way Coach Prime is operating as a coach, like, nah, man, we're doing a little more than just making this about how many plays you can make and if you can go pro. Although I'm going to do everything I can to help you go pro, and it behooves me to put you in position to make all the plays you can make. And so there is a natural tension there where if a player makes enough plays and the team does very well, there's an aspect that the locker room understands that coach may end up moving. Just like a coach understands in today's market, if a player does well at the level he's at and he wants to level up, it's an understanding that, man, like, he got 2 years, he made All-American, he's graduating this summer, guys, we might lose him. Like, you gotta kind of just be, you have to be real about where the market is, and that's where the market is. The market is the same for players as it is for coaches. The only difference is the price tag is not as high for players as it is coaches. Players are playing for a back end price tag, whether it be a graduate degree, whether it be entering the draft, getting drafted, all things, right? All things. So, shout out to Coach Prime getting it done. I'm not mad at him. And that's that. Yeah. So tune in to the FCS playoffs. I got lost in some sauce there because Coach Prime got it done at the FCS level at the HBCU, which is historically black colleges and universities, for those who did not know. And PWI is predominantly white institutions. This is not my acronyms. This is the world's acronym. So don't be throwing no flags at me. All right. Anyway, check in with us at thebigjab.com at 1 o'clock. I'm on the Mannix Brothers. We will be talking top 25 playoff FBS, the big boys playoffs. I am Coach Hall. You have been caught up, and this is Catch Up with Coach. Peace.